welcome to the Patriot Hour for Saturday, July 27th, 2019. I am Michael, your host. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by, folks. Thanks for giving us some time. We know you're busy in your typical day-to-day. It is Saturday. You're probably, most of you working Monday to Friday. You're off today. You're enjoying your morning. All right, we're going to get into a few things here. We got some new Q drops yesterday. We're going to go over a few of those. We got a couple articles. We're going to read some headlines, maybe look at some tweets. Really no agenda, just go over a few different things for our Saturday morning red pilling. Folks, here at the Patriot Hour, we always encourage you to think for yourself, do for yourself, connect your own dots, do all your own digging, researching, and come to the best conclusive idea based off all those facts, all right? Need to learn to think for yourself. No more running with, there's so many people out there that'll speak with authority, these politicians, and they'll cite lies. They'll give you facts that are not right, that are not correct, and you'll take them, you'll run with them, you'll race off to the office, pass it around to all your coworkers. The days of that are over. We need to get to the bottom of things and get to the facts and promote that. So basically, waking people up. Again, if you're new, thanks for stopping by. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit that bell. If you're a returning Patriot, welcome back. We welcome all newbies. Welcome newbies. Welcome to the Patriot movement. And again, here at the Patriot Hour, think for yourself, folks. We definitely always push, encourage that. Our only agenda here is freedom and liberty for all. Being patriots, all right? A lot of people think they're patriots. Got a lot of people claiming they're patriots. A lot of different groups out there. Lots of agendas. Too many to get into. But we need to stick for freedom, all right? The freedom to be what you want. And I'll always encourage that. Okay, here we go. So, which ones didn't we go over? We got quite a few. We'll skim over. We got the cast of the characters on Epstein Island are known. Some anonymous. Some anon add the Punisher face to Pepe. While it is certainly not meant to be funny, it sends a very important and intended message. Cast of characters are known. So Dems want to paint AG Barr as withholding information from them. Now we know that they are seeking to get the pages that weren't released in the Mueller report that AG Barr held back, and we know it only concerns with grand jury information. Nadler's wanting him to break the law to give it to him. The minute he would do that, folks, they would say he broke the law and gave us stuff that he wasn't supposed to. Well, you guys begged and were threatening him with jail. Doesn't matter. He gave it to us. And that's what they're going for here. That's how desperate they are. So smoke and mirrors. How do you attempt to keep the narrative in play, control the sheep in the brackets and the kill box? Got a Fox News launch impeachment investigation with bid for grand jury and insist Mueller, for the info that they insist Mueller delivered. Key sentence. Nadler called for the grand jury's material critically important for their investigation. Does Nadler understand that critical important material requested would be illegal for AG Barr to disclose? Yeah, we've been talking about this for a month or 2 months since Nadler's been flapping at the jaw about it. Got a National Review article here. Mueller report Attorney General grand jury information. So court ruling implies that Barr must redact grand jury info from the Mueller report. So a damn court ruled back in April. Democrats will complain, but the Attorney General can't be faulted for following the law. So they are trying to hold him in contempt for following the law. That's what they're doing. They're doing the same thing with Trump. They want to, he obstructed justice into a crime that he didn't commit. And they want that to stick somehow. This is unbelievable stuff here, folks. I got an ad that popped up. So in disclosing the Mueller report, Attorney General William P. Barr may have to redact the grand jury information. The upshot of the ruling today by a divided panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Court. I flagged this case, now called McKeever v. Barr, formerly McKeever v. Sessions, last week. It did not arise out of the Mueller investigation, but obviously has significant ramifications for the Mueller report. In particular, how much of it we'll get to see. At the issue was this question: does a federal court have the authority to disclose the grand jury materials if the judge decides the interest of justice warrant doing so? Or is the judge limited to the exception to the grand jury secrecy that are spelled out in Rule 6E of the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure? The D.C. Circuit's McKeever ruling holds that the text of Rule 6 controls. Consequently, judges have no authority to authorize disclosure outside of the rule. So we know that they're not going to get it, folks. They're wanting something that they just totally, it's outside of their scope. It's outside of their scope of what they're to do. I mean, we just saw this with Mueller himself. The whole page 2, or, wasn't even supposed to be written. We didn't need 186 pages of your opinion. So we got that national article, thenationalreview.com. Read that in full. This means Attorney General Barr must redact grand jury material from the Mueller report before disclosing it to Congress. Democrats will complain long and loud about this, but I don't see how Barr can reasonably be faulted for following the law. Congress, after all, has the power to legislate an amendment to Rule 6E that would permit the disclosure of grand jury's materials from a special counsel report to appropriate congressional committees. Will members of the D Party Congress attempt to amend Rule 6E in order to obtain grand jury material deemed critically important? No. Logical thinking. Why? Why paint a narrative that the one item you cannot possess and one item you need in order to justify your argument? People elected knowingly spreading false information, disinformation, on purpose. It's illegal. Puppets follow orders. Think for yourself. Background on British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. Rolling Stones article 3508 came on the 26th of July at 2:50 p.m. Who is British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's longtime partner? The daughter of British media mogul Maxwell is alleged to have served as a madam for his billionaire partner. So, since the hedge fund manager, well-connected billionaire Jeffrey Epstein was arrested on Saturday and charged with sex trafficking and sex trafficking conspiracy, the names of powerful men in the socialite circle. So, look, folks, that's something else interesting here. Jeffrey Epstein's charges: sex trafficking and then sex trafficking conspiracy. Now, we know that takes more than one person for a conspiracy and a federal charge. So that means there's already other people. The names of the powerful men in the social circle, including President Donald Trump, former President Bill Clinton, and weirdly former lead investigator of the Clinton Lewinsky scandal, Kenneth Starr, have popped up over and over again. Notably, only one woman's name was made reoccurring appearance in discussions of Epstein's crimes, and that's Ghislaine Maxwell, a British socialite and Epstein's longtime confidant, who is alleged to have played a pivotal role in procuring young women for him. So she was like the, if he was a vampire that needed, people to be brought to the house, and they always have that one person that's not, she was out there getting, the victims, bringing them back. Unbelievable. All right, so read that in full as well. Article down there. We know a little bit about her. We'll find out more. Tarantino billboards hijacked in L.A. to slam Epstein, Polanski, and Pedowood. Coming to a theater near you. So, once upon a time in Pedowood. Tarantino billboard hijacked in L.A. to slam Epstein, Polanski, and Pedowood. The giant billboard at the Pico El Synergia had been rented by Sony to advertise for the film. So Quentin Tarantino's got the new film coming out, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Looks like they jumped up there and somebody got to put a little pedo so you could see it. Kind of, cast it over the holly. Oh, wow. Where did that article go? Right here. So Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio no longer appear on several ads in Hollywood for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, as a conservative street artist has swapped their images with those of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and director Roman Polanski. So look at that. We got a square over here of Epstein, Polanski, Roman, and Once Upon a Time, Jeffrey Epstein's. Oh, that is just something else. Got their message. So, the giant billboard, I just read that. The artist behind the allegations goes by the name of Sobo, and he says that the Fox ads are meant to insult the entertainment industry for embracing Polanski, who pled guilty to sex with minors 4 decades ago, and to a lesser extent Epstein, who was arrested July 6 for sex trafficking minors. He also noted that the backdrop of the movies in 1969, Charles Manson murders, where the most high-profile victim was Shannon Tate, the actress who was married to Polanski at the time. Epstein wasn't as well known among the public as Polanski until his recent arrest, but he was a frequent guest at the entertainment industry events. So he's also noted that the backdrop of the movie on 1969, Charles Manson murders, were the high. So Sharon Tate, and then they got this Polanski guy that was married to her, and he's involved in all this crazy, sick shit. It makes you think back then, was it a, something that he had maybe set up or encouraged or, got himself into deep or something. I mean, it's typically, So beyond the billboard, there are ads at numerous bus stops, some on benches and other behind glass. Insiders say street crew worked through the night to get the phony ads in place before the sun rose on Friday. So one bench ad uses an image of Woody Allen instead of Polanski, as Allen was accused of abusing his adopted daughter, Dylan Farrow, when she was 7, and now he's married to her or whatever. I'm telling you, folks, these people are sick. Each and every one of them. Unbelievable. Hillary Clinton covered up pedophile ring inside U.S. State Department. Do you remember? So we know even let me grab this for you. Whoops. Web browser.
Over here, and we are following this breaking news out of Washington. Some serious allegations this morning facing the State Department.
That's right. According to internal State Department memos, the agency might have called off or intervened in investigation into possibly illegal and inappropriate behavior within its ranks, allegedly to protect jobs and avoid scandals. This concerns the time that Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. We want to get right to NBC's chief White House correspondent, Chuck Todd, with the latest. Chuck, good morning to you.
Good morning, Savannah. There's an old saying in Washington that the cover-up is worse than the crime. But in this case, both parts of it are disturbing. Allegations of prostitution and pedophilia, and allegations that those crimes were somehow covered up or not looked into. So the State Department this morning is having to respond to those claims and those investigations of misconduct by State Department officials, including by an ambassador and security agents attached to then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. And the allegations are that these investigations were whitewashed, quashed altogether, and that those orders came from high up.
NBC News has obtained documents related to ongoing investigations into some disturbing allegations involving State Department personnel and at least one ambassador. A State Department memo says the ambassador, quote, routinely ditched his protective security detail in order to solicit sexual favors from both prostitutes and minor children. The memo also says a top State Department official directed department investigators to, quote, cease the investigation into the ambassador's conduct. It's just one of what another document describes as, quote, several examples of undue influence from top state officials. On Monday, a State Department spokesperson will not confirm specific investigations.
I'm not going to talk about specific cases, but I can say broadly that the notion that we would not vigorously pursue criminal misconduct in any case is preposterous.
A former investigator.
Yeah, whatever. This is how they, I don't like that lady either. She was a cover-upper. I'm telling you what, we know that there was sexual misconduct during Hillary's 2016 run. There was a lady that came forth, and they didn't get rid of the guy. They wanted to keep that under wraps so bad. All they did was take this guy and move him out of that office and put him somewhere else. They didn't fire him. I mean, look into it, folks. Hillary is a known, cover-upper. Squash this, keep it quiet. We don't want the bad press coming out of it, especially during our election. So we know how they do it. It's no secret. It's no secret. Now it's just time to bring it into the light. And lots of people didn't know this at the time. They didn't know it then. They didn't know any of these little cover-ups. They didn't get the attention they deserved. 3510, Hillary Clinton covered up pedophile ring inside. So that's the one we just looked at. 3511, UN warns Britain over child voodoo rituals and pedophile sex tourists. U.S. Britain over voodoo child rituals and pedophile sex tourists. Hundreds of children are being kidnapped in Africa and brought into the UK for voodoo rituals, a UN watchdog said, also voicing alarm about the number of British pedophiles who prey on children abroad. The United Nations Committee on the Rights of Child, CRC, urged Britain to do more to stop this brutal form of people trafficking. We are concerned about the reports that hundreds of children have been abducted from their families in Africa and trafficked into the UK, especially London, for religious rituals. Head of the CRC and former Norwegian Supreme Court said on Thursday. She said that the trafficking for rituals was part of a wider problem where thousands of minors are brought into the UK who end up being child prostitutes or being sexually exploited. Folks, this is coming out, squeezing out everywhere. Now that these cases, we can start talking about the pedophilia going on. Is this an agenda now to talk about it? Seems to be. That it has been covered up for far too long, and now the floodgates have bursted, starting with, Epstein. Of course, we got the stories here and there in the local papers or 10 years ago with Polanski or whatever, 20 years ago. But these stories, one by one, they didn't really shock people. They didn't get, didn't go to the depths of the connection. It just kind of sat there on, with that one person, and you thought it was just an isolated case, just like the Sandusky case. It's just so. All right, we'll leave that article again as well. Well, the QMAP connection will be down below. So Fly Dan Fly 3512. This came at the 26th of July, 4:33 yesterday early evening. An anonymous poster put Dan Coates out, forced in the brackets, soon. Source equals Trump, friend Chris Rudy. And we got that. Fly Dan Fly. Dan Coates gone next week. Solomon on Hannity radioed next week. Change of DNI Coates gone. Declas of Docs. Durham News. Said on the show, might be on Hannity tonight. Did not say that. This is big. So watch Hannity. So there you go. Declas of Docs, Durham News. Looks like a big week coming up, folks. I'm actually going to be gone out of studio for the rest of today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday. I will not be back probably till Wednesday evening sometime or Thursday, other than if I end up doing a live show at some point, just to pop in. Never know, might happen. Other than that, I'm going to have like a day or two down of a digital detox, as far as, you know, like, I'm not going to have my phone or any electronics on me, at least for a 24-hour period. Might go a little longer, but that's just over the next couple days. One day digital detox for myself to unplug, digitize. Nothing wrong with it. And again, with what I do and the business we're in, of promoting truth and getting the word out, I'm not going to go too long, but I'm going to unwind for at least a day. But we're going to be all over this. You guys stay tuned in. You can do your own research. I have faith in each and every one of you. I know you can do it. You're great patriots. You guys understand now. Plus, there's other channels. So don't think I am gone. It's just a short temporary out of studio. I actually am leaving the area for a few days. So we're going to be all over that, though. Solomon was on Hannity. I got to check that out. I didn't hear Hannity last night. So I actually saw a little bit of his open monologue. But I was wrapped up doing some other stuff. All right, we're going to shut this one down. I got a couple other articles I want to read, but I'll bring another video back. And then I got to get heading out of here. So, all right, folks, you have a great afternoon, great morning, Saturday morning, into your afternoon, and we'll see you back here real soon on the next Patriot Hour update video coming right after this one. But maybe you'll see it later today. All right, you guys have a great one. We'll see you back here. God bless.